Thank you. Good morning. Hi. Oh, it's so amazing to be here. I'm Natalie Fee. I'm the founder of City to Sea, which is a not-for-profit organisation running campaigns to stop plastic pollution at source. But first of all, I just want to say thanks, Leon. That was just so good. I really would like to just take you on tour with me now for my book, and we can just do that for every time I do a talk. Gorgeous. Good luck with the EP. So flow. So I don't really know how this morning was sort of sold to you all, just loosely themed, I think. But actually, we're mostly going to be talking about periods this morning. A flow, an amazing flow, which happens, not so amazing for some, but generally a flow that happens to many of us once a month. So I'm going to be talking about plastic-free periods. And I'm going to be talking a little bit about my new book. I'm going to talk a bit about my journey setting up City to Sea. And then we'll have time for some questions. And yeah, I just want to start really by also saying how gorgeous it feels here this morning. You all feel delightful and joyful, and I really appreciate that. So plastic pollution, as I'm sure you're all, this is going in and out, isn't it? It's not on right now. Can you hear me now? Yeah? Can you hear me if I don't have a microphone? Not so much. Okay, we'll keep going with that. So, swaps. Thanks. So, anywhere you go in the world now, you can, I'd say, see plastic pollution. That's not strictly true. Plastic is everywhere. Literally, it is everywhere now, from the deepest parts of the ocean in the Mariana Trench to the most remote parts of the Arctic. It's even in the sea ice, in these pristine parts of the world, there are tiny fragments of plastic. So we see visually on pretty much every riverbank and every coastline, plastic is washed up there, but it's also now in the air we breathe, it's in the water we drink, it's even been shown to be in our poo now, so we're actually eating it, we're breathing it in. Sadly, it has become one of the biggest environmental problems of our time. So I decided that I would like to do something about it. And one of the things about plastic pollution which really struck me when I started out on my journey back in 2014, which I'll tell you a bit more about later, but was the amount of plastic that ends up on our beaches from our toilets. So around 6.2% of all plastic found on beaches in the UK has been flushed down the loo and is ending up on our beaches. So apparently 3 out of 10 adults are flushing plastic down the loo, treating our toilets like a bin, thinking that it's this magic thing that when we put things in there and we push the magic button, it all just disappears and it's all really nice. And I don't have to empty a dirty, grotty bin, I can just do this magic thing. But obviously we have these things called sewers, and sewers are linked to the rivers, and the rivers are linked to the seas. So generally, when you flush something down the toilet, there's a very high likelihood that that could end up being eaten by a fish or wafting around in the River Thames. I used to be one of those people. Hands up, I used to flush my tampons. In fact, that's all I flushed down the loo. I never flushed cotton buds, I'm proud to say, but I definitely did used to flush my tampons. I didn't know that tampons, even the actual tampon, has a plastic wrap around it, like a little weave, actually on the tampon, and that the string is generally made of polyester, which is plastic. So when you flush that down the loo, it's not going to break down. Quick 101 of what happens in the sewers. When we flush things into the sewers, they tend to combine with the fat that goes down. This is just such a horrible thing to talk about for breakfast. I'm so sorry. Okay, we're just going to do it quickly. Yeah. So basically, the wet wipes, the cotton buds, they all congeal with the fat that goes down the sinks, and they forms these disgusting big fatbergs in the sewers. Yeah, exactly. Lovely. When that happens, the sewers get blocked, so then the sewers overflow. They're legally allowed to overflow, and that's when the larger items of plastic, like applicators, cotton buds, panty liners, pads, etc., flow out into the rivers and seas. Nice. Flushed me away there. So this is the reason I got started on my journey to do something about plastic pollution. I was working in the media. I used to work in local TV in Bristol. And one day I was on Facebook and I saw a trailer for a film called Albatross. And when I saw the scenes that I saw on that video, it was like a 1-minute trailer, I was absolutely devastated. I saw these incredible, beautiful, fluffy albatross chicks dying in their nests with their bellies full of plastic. Like, they were so beautiful. And I'm actually just going to show you a clip from that film, because that, I can pinpoint that as the moment that my life completely changed direction, completely changed course. So I'll pick up on that after we've watched the film. That is not flow. That is flow. It's so hard to watch that, even after I've watched it hundreds of times. This is on the Midway Islands, thousands of miles from any major landmass, where the adult albatrosses scoop into the sea and they pick up these colourful bits of plastic and they take it back to the island and they feed their baby chicks. And I think for me it was seeing the everyday items of plastic that I was using, bottle top caps, cigarette lighters, Epsom ink cartridges, Colgate toothbrushes were inside the bellies of these creatures, and that for me was just so wrong, and I just felt called to do whatever I could to try and stop it. I'm just going to caveat at this point that I was not traditionally an environmental campaigner, and actually I was terrified of the sea. So I was kind of one of the weirdest ocean ambassadors to kind of start trying to save the oceans. I definitely had never rowed across it. I basically had to drug myself to fly over the ocean. So it was quite odd that I ended up doing what I'm doing. But I feel like it was the albatross that got me stuck in. So I started with a crowdfunding campaign to do a music video. I dabble in music from time to time. If ever you want to do a little duet, I'm right there with you. So I did this crowdfunder campaign thinking, I know this music video, which will be about plastic, but the song wasn't, will go viral and everyone will watch it and they'll all stop drinking Coca-Cola and we'll just save the world, and that's totally going to happen. And it totally didn't. So I got the money, we made a music video, but I think to this day it's only had like 4,000 views or something. It's called Burden. It's on YouTube. Write that down. Let's make it 4,150. But from there, I had momentum and I had business sponsors and I had supporters, and I thought, let's just do more. Let's see if I can run projects and campaigns in Bristol, which is a super green, progressive city for the most part, good for getting things off the ground, and let's see if we can replicate that around the world. So I started City to Sea back in 2015, off the back of my music video, which is called Burden. So the other thing that was really stressing me out along the riverbank was the amount of water bottles that I was finding discarded and not being recycled and ending up in the ecosystem. This was along the riverbanks in Bristol of the Avon. So the campaign that I kicked off in Bristol was the Refill campaign, which you'll see here in London now as well. I'm just going to skip through this quickly because I want to get on to the main cause. But basically, Refill is our campaign to connect you to taps and fountains wherever you go, so you don't have to buy bottled water. We've had over 250,000 downloads now of our Refill app, Refill London is thriving. So if you haven't already downloaded the Refill app, have a little look at it. It connects you to free water on the go, and we're also expanding it this autumn to connect you to other places. You can refill your coffee cup, you can get discounts for taking your own lunchbox places. So we're piloting that, I think, in King's Cross in London and a few other towns around the UK this autumn. So that's going to be exciting. We're also going to be adding zero waste shops onto the Refill app as well. Cotton buds was the other thing that I was noticing that people were flushing down the loo. So we started a campaign in 2016 called Switch the Stick, where we got all of the supermarkets to agree to not make plastic cotton buds anymore and to make paper ones instead. And it was an incredible campaign. I started it with a petition. Within about 3 months, we had 150,000 signatures on the petition. And that just was phenomenally powerful in terms of sending a message to the supermarkets that they either had to change or lose our business. And the big four came on, and then the next ones did. So within about 3 months, an organisation of, I think there was 3 of us at the time, we'd managed to get all 9 major retailers to agree to switch in 2017. And that move is stopping around 400 tonnes of non-recyclable single-use plastic at source every year. So that's the kind of power that we have. Thanks. I just thought this was insane. This was the year that we ran the Switch the Stick campaign, and then this was the winning photo of the Wildlife Photographer of the Year that day. I felt like a little sign from Spirit that we were on track. Saving the seahorses! Right, back to toilets. So where are we going with this one next? Oh, pants, good, we're on to periods. So after I'd done the sort of work on cotton buds, I had a good thing going with the water company. So some people are interested in how I funded a not-for-profit. I tended to align with corporates and do corporate partnerships and funding. And because a lot of this was plastic that was causing the water companies to have to spend £100 million a year unblocking sewers and looking really bad because they're spewing plastic out into the environment, they were happy to give me some money to run some campaigns to try and help. So off the back of the Switch the Stick campaign, I'd become aware of all the other stuff like wet wipes and menstrual products that we were flushing down the loo, and I decided that we could have a good crack at plastic-free periods and trying to switch people on to reusable menstrual products and show them the impact of what happens when we flush our period products down the loo. So I might have a little film here for you. Oh, right, we're going to do some stats first. So apparently in the UK, every day we are flushing 700,000 panty liners, 1.4 million pads and 2.5 million tampons down the toilet every day, which is absolutely insane. When you think that 1 pack of conventional menstrual pads contains the same amount of plastic as 5 carrier bags. Now, you would not flush carrier bags down the toilet, but it's hidden plastic, so we don't really know that's what's going on. So, here's me and my pants. Any moment now. Oh, the video's not playing. Let's just see if that plays. So I guess also that's me in my flow. Like, I love playful, silly, stupid things. I'm going to share a poem with you in a moment that I wrote the other night that is another example of my silly, stupid flow. So I'm just going to throw a couple of menstrual cups at you because I thought it would be nice to pass these around because not everyone has experienced what a menstrual cup feels like. So this one is for postnatal. It's a little bit bigger. And these are by a company called Intermina. They're not always as garish, so Moon Cup have been around for like decades. Who would like the post? You do, okay, great. That's the postnatal one. So you have a little play, pass it around, keep it moving. And here is a beginner's cup. So this one would suit sort of teens. It's softer, it's smaller. So here's an example of a beginner's cup. Catch. Someone actually got hit in the head by a menstrual cup. Awesome. So yeah, just pass those around whilst I'm talking. So in terms of period products, the period product marketplace has never been so exciting. It's been completely disrupted by reusable menstrual products. So we talked about that. You've got washable menstrual pads, which are my personal favourite. They're really good for a light flow. You can literally just throw them in the washing machine. And then washable period panties, which are the ultimate in lazy periods. They are just fantastic. Again, you can just rinse them out at the end of the day and then put them in your laundry basket. Obviously, there's the cups. There are so many. I heard the other day that there's 200 brands now of menstrual cups, which is just phenomenal. Even Tampax have brought out a menstrual cup because they know that that's a huge part of where the trend is going, except for Tampax, so you need to replace it every year, which of course you don't. They last for about 7 years, but obviously they're terrified that it's going to stop people buying their products. So menstrual cups are a really good anti-capitalist, feminist action that you can take. If you still like disposable menstrual products, then just switch to organic. It's better for your body and it's better for the environment. It's better for the soil where the cotton is grown. Organic cotton uses about 90% less water than conventional cotton. Same goes for buying your clothes. So switching to organic disposables is better if you're using disposables, but obviously don't flush them down the loo either. So at City to Sea, aside from our sort of silly videos, we also do some serious stuff. If there are any teachers in the room or anyone connected to education or anyone who's got siblings in education or family who work in education, we've just launched a new program called Rethink Periods. It's an unbiased menstruation education program for schools. It's free. There's an incredible box and trainers and a training program that goes with it. And we got funding from Waitrose to roll this out across the UK in association with the Women's Environmental Network. Did I say that it's Environmenstrual Week this week? I didn't I? That's why I'm talking about periods today, because it is Environmenstrual Week, which is just so fun. So basically, Rethink Periods debunks the shame and the taboo and the myths that still abound around periods, and it teaches students about the environmental impact of their periods, as well as our bodies. It's gender neutral, so it's friendly for all genders, and I just think it's an amazing thing, and I'm so proud of it. Here's another film. How are we doing for time? 5 minutes left. All right. Do you want to see a scary film? So we have, the amazing thing of running a non-profit is these really talented people come to you and say, can I make a film for you, or can I do something? So here's a film that they recently did for us. Click. No. No? just in case you missed it the first time. Basically, you can tell I didn't make that film because A, it's got really scary waves in it and dark sea, and two, it's really cool, and it doesn't have me in my pants in it. But I'm really grateful to the Supergirls that made that for us. So have a look at City to Sea's website. So sharing those films, like if you're a cool surfy type, then you can share the cool surfy one. If you think people will respond to the silly one, share that, because you never know who's going to see it and what changes they're going to make as a result of it. So I think I'm kind of hammering this message home, but in terms of what we can all do around protecting the oceans when it comes to our bathrooms, we can rethink. So don't litter the loo, just flush pee, paper and poo. I think I got a whole auditorium shouting that during my TED Talk, proud moment. I'm the only person to have ever sat on the toilet and given a TED Talk. We can redesign our bathrooms. Not one bin, but two. Oh, I missed that. Let's do it again. Not one bin, but two. One for your recycling. If you're still using plastic products in your bathroom, which you don't need to because it's really easy to switch to shampoo bars, conditioner bars, bamboo toothbrushes, but if you're still using plastic in your bathroom, have a bin for your recyclables and have another bin for things like wet wipes and period products. We talked about reusing. We have got discount codes at city2c.org.uk for all of the reusable menstrual products, and I think as well for organic period products as well, so have a little look on there. So, just really to leave you with, before I talk about my book quickly, I like to show that there's a better way, and it's way more fun. See, I love the smiles that I'm seeing here. This is how happy you could be by carrying a reusable bag around with you. It really works. So I decided, after talking about plastic for 4 years and doing some amazing stuff with City to Sea, I really wanted to shift the dial a bit and start talking to our amazing audience and to all the people that got involved with the fight against plastic pollution, perhaps as their first experiences of environmental campaigning. I really wanted to, actually, I wanted to write more. I was really missing writing, and I love writing. And ironically, I was on a plane coming back from a conference, and I had an idea for a new book. We had deep intake of breath there. I had an idea for a book on the plane about change making and how we can make changes in all areas of our lives. And I wrote down the chapter summary for the book, and I closed my laptop, thought, yep, I better get that out to some publishers at some point, write a proposal. And 2 weeks later, out of the blue, talking about flow, I got an email from the commissioning editor at Lawrence King, and she said, I've just seen your TED Talk, and I wonder if you'd like to write a book for us. We'd like a book really practical about how you can help change the world. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'd love to come and talk to you, because just 2 weeks ago, I wrote a chapter summary for exactly the same book. And luckily we got on really well, and so there was a really beautiful synchronistic start to this book, and I'm really, really proud of it, and it comes out on Monday in the shops. So I wrote it last year, and it's been a big project of mine, a big love, and it has a whole section in it called How to Save the World When You Bleed, which covers all the things we've talked about today. So imagine all the things we've talked about today in another chapter called How to Save the World When You Eat, when you travel, when you vote, when you bank. So all of the different things, hopefully, that we do in our lives. When you have sex, there's a whole chapter on that as well. So that's the kind of detail I go into in those chapters, hopefully in a fun and playful way. I would love you to buy a copy. I think we're doing a discount here today. It's £10 today if you want to do that, and I'm happy to scribble on it for you. And they make amazing Christmas presents. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that. I think I've kind of given you most of that. So I just want to, before I give you my plastic poem, say a big thank you from them, and a big thank you from me for your amazing attention and your energy. It's so lovely talking to you, and I'm going to leave you with this. This is called Turtle Tampon. Oh my God, I flushed my tampon and the turtle's gonna die. The string will get stuck up its nose, the soggy bit in its eye. Oh my God, I flushed my tampon and the applicator bit. Oh, and I think I just flushed some wet wipes when I just had a poo. Oh my God, I flushed my pad and the turtle's gonna die. Instead of jellyfish for dinner, it's eating plastic period pie. Oh my God, I flushed my pad. And maybe a panty liner too. It's not that I don't care about stuff, but who needs a bin when you've got the loo? Oh my God, I flushed my menstrual cup. Oh wait, that's not the case. Because when you've got a period, no, because when you've got a cup, your period's like zero waste. Oh my God, I flushed my cup. No, I'm just messing with you. From now on, to save the turtles, I just flush pee, paper and poo.